Welcome back to Waza Wednesday. This week we're going to take a look at a concept for kata bunkai that looks specifically at the larger turns found in the kata. We've previously done a Waza Wednesday looking at this as techniques for throwing, and this week we're going to take that same approach, but we're specifically going to highlight the kazushi component, the off-balancing of the opponent. So for some simple examples of how you can use the techniques just before the turns as ways to off-balance your opponent to get into the throws, we can look at the fact that most of those kata have a step forward before the turn. All 5 of the Pinan kata, for example, have a step forward of some type before they turn, either 180 degrees or 270 degrees. So in those types of situations, we can look at that step forward as off-balancing the opponent. If we look at Pinan Shodan, for example, even if we take something as basic as the formal shuto to the punch that most karateka are familiar with having done, even if we start there, if we come in and strike to the neck with our nukite, we've pushed our opponent backward by striking into their neck. They're already very off balance here, so it's not very difficult for me to push the side of their head and turn, which goes into the same motion as setting up for my shuto on the other side. If we look at Pinan Nidan, again from just something as simple as the basic high block that most people have done, if you come in from there into your next high block, you drive the opponent's head back, and that gives you the opportunity to press their head around as you set up for your low. Pinan Sandan's a little different. It doesn't have that full turn, but it does still have a step forward before a turn. So if we look at this again from something as simple as a basic block here, or even if we're clinched up, if I wanted to just make some space, we still end up in this hammer fist position, and I step forward and strike. So once he's punched or I've grabbed in some fashion here, if I step in and strike, I still get this off balancing. Now, if he tries to come back forward, maybe I follow and push his head down this way. Alternatively, I can use that hand to check his leg. So from the same beginning, here, I can bring this down to make sure he can't step around and pull across this way. Pinan Yandan is different in that it has a spin, but it's a much tighter one. And we don't actually even need to get to the spin to do a takedown, because that full step coming forward can be the takedown as well. So if we look at the move before it as this cover and strike, the next technique is a kick to the leg. That's an off-balancing technique in and of itself because you've disrupted their base. From here, that step in, if I step far and drop my elbow on their chest, I can actually drop them back and off balance from there. Pinan Godan has 2 examples of this. The first being, again, off of some sort of grab horizontally, coming in and striking. This again pushes their head back. If they want to bring it back forward, I can control it down into my low block this way. The other is, of course, the famous throw that people have seen, where there's, in some styles, a big jump, some it's just a turn and drop. If I'm grabbing, for example, or even if he threw a punch and I blocked and struck and then grabbed, however I get here, if I step forward and up, which is what the kata does, there's a lift as you step in. If I do this and they resist at all, then they're going to come back this way. It's much easier for me to drag them and pull them down into my throw.